Hello Stampers, it's the Pampered Stamper and this video is long overdue. I call this technique a faux chalkboard technique, and I'm not sure if that's the right name for it or not, but that's what I'm going with and I absolutely love it. So this one was done on Sahara sand and this one was done on Rococo rose. I am using the stamp set Woven Heirlooms, which is really lovely. It's thinking of you, prayers and heartfelt sympathy are with you and your family, but also wishing you a day of love and joy. So it could also be for a wedding. And then we're also using the gorgeous Good Morning Magnolia, which is a two-set stamp. Like there's two, it usually comes in two, but I've consolidated them into one. Okay, so yeah, there's lots of nice sayings and there's some great images. Now that floral image is so big that I have it on the biggest block. I think this block is worth about 20 bucks. And at first I was sad because I thought, oh, I don't need this block, but yes, I am using it a lot now. So I have started on these. I have embossed the flowers using Versamark, and Versamark is a watermark stamp pad, and it's basically sticky ink. So our embossing powder sticks to it. I want to show you this embossing powder. It is shimmer white. And when you open it up, I don't know if you can see that, but it almost looks like black and white together. It's like silver and white, but it's really beautiful. So what you do is you need a craft white ink pad. So I open it up, and our craft white ink pad comes uninked and with a refill. And you take your block, and then see, you've got the white craft ink on your block. Then you have an aqua painter. Aqua painters come in a set of 2. And what we're going to do now, if you look at my piece of paper here, my cardstock, my Rococo rose, I've done one already. And the reason for that is this image needs to dry. But I wanted to show you how it was done. So you take your aqua painter and you kind of milk this down a little bit. And I'm only going to color the flower. And you don't have to be too careful, although I guess it is better to stay in the lines to not cover up your beautiful embossing. You also don't want to go over it many times. This is cardstock, it's not watercolor paper. So you don't want to make the paper buckle by making it too wet. And we're just going to color in. This is the most easy thing ever. It's like paint by numbers, and there's only one color. I can handle that. So this is the faux chalkboard kind of idea. You're creating a white chalky background. If anyone has a better name for this technique, let me know, but this is the Jackie version. So we finally have hot weather here in Southern Ontario. I have my air conditioning on. I'm a bit of a princess when it comes to summer. I am a cold weather girl. And when it gets hot, I hibernate inside with the air on. I come out in the evenings like a raccoon and in the early mornings. But during the day, I am hiding away like an owl. There you go. So that's all you do. You just paint with some white craft ink and an aqua painter. Now, I'm also going to do it on Sahara sand so that you can see the difference. So you're not limited by doing this on just one color. It gives you a totally different look. Now, you have to make sure that it doesn't get too watered down. You need to, if it doesn't look white enough anymore, you need to just get some more ink on there. But I'm still good to go. It's a great idea using your blocks as a portable ink pad. It's much easier than squeezing the ink into the lid of your ink pad, especially with our new ink pads. It's not so conducive to that. You need very strong thumbs to force the ink into the lid. Okay. So I guess you don't have to see me color this whole thing in, but I guess I am almost finished. Best to finish it up. But you can see how quick and easy this is. It's not rocket science, but with that sparkly embossing, it's just very beautiful. And when you have a really nice technique, you want to keep your card relatively simple so that your art is the star of the show and that you don't distract from it with too many other things. Simple stamping is sometimes very difficult because we always want to add just one more thing. Okay, so here we go. Now we're on to step 2. We'll put the aqua painter away. We're going to take our Rococo rose ink pad and flip it up. And then we're using a brand new sponge dauber. So the sponge dauber fits onto your finger like this. You can, do whatever. You can get, I think, let me just check the catalog here. You can get a package of 5 sponge daubers for $7 in Canada. So now I have to remember which one I just did. I'm going to put this one away. We're going to do this one. No. Oh, I can't tell which one I just did. I think I did this one earlier, but no, it's still wet. So make your sponge dauber. Get your sponge dauber all inked up. And then you just go over top. And I'm just daubing. You can, if it's really nicely dried, you can sponge a little bit, like rub it. But you can see how nice of a dark, dusky color that is. It just makes it very deep and rich looking. The danger in doing this now, and for me not knowing if my white is totally dry, is that I could transfer white ink to this, but it looks like I'm doing okay. You can always add more later, but see how nice it looks? Now we'll do it on the Sahara Sand one. And it pops a little bit more on the Sahara Sand. And if you just start in the middle and then slowly, without re-inking, work your way out, then you will get lighter tones around the outside. That's how it's a very simple way. That was bad English. That is how you get the dark in the middle and the lighter on the outside. And then if I really want to make this one lighter, I'll just keep going here without re-inking, and I'll get a softer flower here. And then it's a safer bet after you've done your whole flower lightly, then I can go in and do the center a little bit more intensely. See? So you can go crazy with how light or how dark you do this. But you see how I don't have to worry about, I'm going right over top of the embossing and it still looks really nice. So, let me get my cards back out. Here, I have used the woven heirlooms for the saying, and then I just added some adhesive to this white strip, which I think is about 1 1/4 inches, and I taped the lace on the back of that, just to give it a little vintage effect. So this is a super simple card, okay? The Rococo Rose is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then the Mary Merlot is 1/8 of an inch bigger. So it is, let me think, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay? Now make sure, guys, that you check out the clearance rack today, because there's lots of stamp sets added. Stamp sets are never on the clearance rack, and there's Christmas sets. With this one, I decided to pop the Sahara Sand on a little bit of Whisper White. Same measurements again. The Sahara Sand is 4 inches by 5 1/4. The Whisper White is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I like to score my cards like this in the middle, because in Ontario we have a lot of humidity, so the card sits like that, because if it sits this way, is what will happen. It will just flop, and I don't like floppy cards. All right, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a super day, and I appreciate your business.